Welcome back. Well, let's find out how businesses have been navigating the high interest rate environment right here in the first quarter with about 600 basis point increase in the lending rate. And let's bring back Mr. Tesu David Ukesha, is the CEO and Managing Director of Tetwood right there in our Abuja studio. I'm sure you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can.
Fantastic. So let's get back to the conversation now. I said, since the arrival of the new leadership, we've seen about 600 basis points there for cost of credit. And I know you're a businessman. Talk to me about how people in your industry are navigating this high interest environment.
Okay, thank you very much for this great opportunity. So it's quite simple. I mean, I want to start up with the Bank of England, for instance. I mean, the interest rate is at 5.25%. And I'm advocating for these interest rates to be able to come down. Reason being that the higher interest rates, the risk of having manufacturers not getting credit from the banks, because everyone is not convinced to take money at a higher rate, and so if you have this, if you have that the rates lower, what happens is this: there's more spending in the economy, and then you have the inflation rates lower a little bit as well. So I want to encourage. So it's quite very easy to be coming from the outside, and the guys in the inside in CBN and others, we might not see what they are seeing. So it's quite easy to share our opinion, but we are advising that, look, if there's any possibility, remember Mr. President saying some time ago that he wants the interest rates to be low, because he understands, coming from the corporate background, that, look, if interest rates are low, companies, manufacturers, traders, everyone will be able to borrow at a convenient, pace that they'll be able to pay back. So that's my take on that.
And looking at the environment at this time, definitely everyone's looking for. They want that steady cash flow, and you need credit, to be affordable at this time. But what do you think the government can do, at this time, to allow for, producers and businesses, because right now we're dealing with inflation numbers, we've not seen in a long time. What do you think can be done to support businesses in, bringing prices down, at this time?
Okay, so let's start with the aviation. I'm encouraging the government to do something about, how about we give, tax holidays to the aviation industry, for instance, so that we can make, movement easy, because a lot of business people, the traders, the SMEs, those guys who push the engine, these are the guys who control the engine of, of the economy, those small businesses that you have around. And so you can imagine a small business person, a young fellow, wanting to go down to Lagos or Kano to be able to, buy or sell, or, go for a business meeting. He needs to spend maybe 150 or 200,000 for economy class. This is so expensive. But if we give tax holidays to these guys, we will, they will have no choice but to crash down the travel, the air tickets. This will help movement and goods and services. So that's one of the fast and quick thing that the minister, who is doing a great job, can look into as well.
And let's look at another big issue now: currency. The naira. At this point, we saw weakness last week in the FX market, and we've seen how currency devaluation how that has played into the results we've seen for the first quarter for some companies, listed on the stock exchange. So talk to me about how the private sector, is seeing currency and FX issues, at this time. Is there confidence, on your part, that we'll see stability, in the FX market going forward?
So it's quite very simple. Look, I mean, dealing with Forex is quite very simple. When a country is exporting, you bring back the foreign currency back into your country. And how do we do that? Companies are unable to get finance that easy. And I'm calling on the banking sectors as well, because this is a time we have to all come together and join our hands together to be able to help Mr. President and help the country grow. Because business people need facility. They need cheap loans. That's why you see you have the Indians coming with their 0%, zero interest rates. Money they get from their countries on other organizations that they belong to, and they come here, they do so very well because you can't compete with them. They're getting zero interest rate from where they're getting, or sometimes 2%. So how do you compete? And so we need to produce and and export for us to be able to take care of this forex issue as well.
Yeah, and definitely tomorrow we're expecting the decision from central bank MPC. Definitely, consensus is there will be another rate hike. We don't know by how many basis points yet, but what are you expecting? And at some point, where do you see, say, the MPC saying, okay, it's time to cut back and hold on interest rate hikes?
Look, I am expecting, for them to go negative, actually go backwards. I mean, increasing the rates at this moment is not a very good idea at all, because, like I said before, borrowing. I mean, the banks are there for business people to go to borrow, but at the same time, while you're borrowing, you should be able to pay back and make profit. And at the end of the day, if you go borrow from a commercial bank and you are just working for that commercial bank, then it's big trouble. And there's something I want to mention to you as well. So the banks, I think the states, governments are one of the big problems to manufacturers or business people in Nigeria. Why do I say this? Because look, the banks are so comfortable. They go easy. They go to the state governments, the state government comes to them, get loans, and at very ease, and so they're so comfortable that they're not willing to go into the real market, the real economy, and borrow money too. So the state governments, I pray that, this is my prayer though, that the federal government will be able to make things quite difficult for the state governments to go out there, for governors to go out there, approach banks and just take loans and take loans easily. If this is achieved, what will happen is this: the banks will be forced to go out there and approach manufacturers and business people.
Right. I guess some of these banks maybe see the states as low risk at this point, but definitely we're all looking forward to see a low interest rate environment right here in Nigeria. But definitely, it seems that will happen when inflation numbers come down significantly. But thank you for coming on. It was great having your perspective, Mr. Tesu David Ukeche, is the CEO, Managing Director of Tetwood. It was great having you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right, so definitely countdown. Tomorrow we're going to get a decision from the CBN MPC. What's it going to be? Maybe 100 basis points, maybe 200 basis points, but consensus is there might be another rate hike coming for the next meeting. That's it from me on Business Morning. Markets are open now. We'll give a summary of closing numbers later on. I'm Ladi Williams. Bye for now.